Hello everyone, this is Highlander from MTG Cardsmith doing another custom Magic the Gathering card review, and today we are reviewing a card by ouijaninja called Search for Emrakul. He's got a little bit of like a space theme going on. You even got like a little astronaut. I mean, this is basically the moon landing, right? I guess I don't know what that is back there, but that's Earth for sure, right? And this looks like the moon with a little moon lander, so that's interesting. Okay, so this is a 1 blue sorcery. Search your library for a land card, reveal it, and put it onto the battlefield. Then shuffle. It loses all abilities and types and has tap, add, colorless. The vault is here somewhere. If there's any hope for world domination, we must find it. Okay. I do have to say, like, I'm a little intrigued by these space cards. If you have a set, I'd love to see some more of it. I'd kind of like to see like what's going on with these space cards, or maybe you're just doing them for for fun. But yeah, show me some other ones. Okay, so here, this card I have a couple issues with. So first of all, this is a 1-mana ramp card, right? If I'm reading this correctly, search your library for a land, reveal it, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. It loses all abilities and types and has tap. So you basically get a wastes. You get a 1-mana ramp card that's not a creature, right? So 1-mana ramp cards like Birds of Paradise, they don't really get printed anymore because 1-mana ramp is very, very, it's a little too strong for modern standards. But it's kind of passable because it's a creature, right? You can always just kill it, but in this case you cannot, right? You're getting a land. I mean, I get that it's a waste, but like that's in some cases that's actually an upside, right? I mean, you call the search for Emrakul, so clearly like you're dealing with Eldrazi, and there are Eldrazi that want colorless mana, so this effect is just, first of all, just way too good. I mean, Wizards doesn't even print this effect at 2 these days, really, anymore. The last one they printed was what was it? What's the name of it? It's a green. I think it's a sorcery, and it is from the set Strixhaven. And it's a mana value 2. Let's go find it here. What the heck? Oh. Whoops. I was very confused there for a minute. Here we go. Emergent Sequence. So this is, I think, the last 2-mana ramp card that they've played. But the difference, or that, excuse me, that they've printed, a rampant growth, as it were. But the difference here is that the land becomes a creature. So once again, you can actually kill the creature, right? And so it gives your opponent a way to interact with your ramp. And really the only ramp that they make that's uninteractable is 3 mana generally these days. It's either like a creature that costs 2 in ramps, or it's a spell that costs 3 in ramps, right? And here you've got a spell that costs 1 in ramps, and you can't interact with this at all, really. So this is basically just way undercosted, for one. For two, I would really hesitate to put something like this in blue. Blue doesn't usually get ramp. There are some cases where blue does, but it's generally very situational. So for example, there was like a recent one from, I can't remember, but so okay, there's a couple blue RAM cards that come to mind. I mean, there's like Dreamscape Artist, right, which is actually a very fun card. This one basically you can discard a card and turn it into a Harrow. But this is from Time Spiral, and we all know Time Spiral is just all kinds of nonsense when it comes to the color pie, right? So this guy is just completely breaking the color pie. So this guy I wouldn't really count. And then there's like cards like Deranged Assistant, which is this is probably the closest they've ever gotten to giving blue like just unconditional ramp, but in this case you have to pay mill a card, which obviously is a bonus. But again, this is a 2-mana creature. And the other cards tend to have conditions on them for adding mana. So there's like the wizard from Dominaria. I have to. This is gonna drive me nuts. So I have to look it up. Dominaria, Dom, and it's a blue card with mana value equal to 2, and it has add blue. Here we go. Vodalian Arcanist. Okay. Add colorless. Spend this mana only to cast an instant or sorcery spell. So that's kind of generally what you get when you're looking at blue mill is this type of wording, or excuse me, blue ramp. So what you've got here is you're breaking sort of 2 rules. One of them being the cost rule, and the other one being the sort of the color boundary. It's a little bit less of like, I like that you made it a waste so that you're adding colorless, because that tends to be the type of ramp that blue gets. But land searching, I mean, it's interesting. Sorry guys, I know my dogs are always barking. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong, it is cool. But like, I would rather see this on like, I don't know, like an artifact or a creature again. Something that feels more blue. This feels a lot like a green card. Like it's like I like the flavor of this. And I kind of like what you're trying to do here, but I'm really torn on whether it's a good idea or not. Basically, it might be okay to do these for like one-offs, but I would say if you're doing this, you should cost this 3 probably. Again, so green gets this effect at 3, and usually there's like a little bit of extra value there. So like with Cultivate, which they also haven't printed in a while, you get another land in your hand, so it's like kind of like a green divination. But more recently they tend to be a little tamer. There was the one for Strixhaven where you get to learn. There's always some little bonus on it, right? So if you're making a blue card that sort of tries to emulate a green card, I would expect it to be weaker than the green variant. So like at 3 mana, I would think that this I would like sort of be able to stomach this a little bit better, where you're like, okay, well, it is normally a green effect, but it's like much weaker than a green variant. You're only getting colorless. Honestly, okay, here's I think probably the best way to do a card like this is, instead of going the route where you get a land put on the battlefield and then it becomes a waste, like, I would rather this card be 3 mana and say like create a token, create a waste token basically. So it would say something like create a colorless land, create a how would you, sorry, I'm trying to figure out the wording for this. I don't know if they do like land tokens. So, okay, forget about the wording. But basically, I think this would feel a lot more blue if you basically created a land token that was a waste, essentially. And that way, like, it doesn't feel like a green spell. It feels like a blue spell, because blue, making tokens, I mean, any color can make tokens, right? But it feels more like a blue card rather than this feels more like a green card. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that variant, like if you really want to do blue ramp, I think that is how we would probably do it. Something like that. I mean, again, there's always artifacts, but obviously you're trying to create some sort of a flavor here. So, I like the idea of turning this into of course you're talking about a vault, so you could just make it a blue artifact that taps. I don't know. Oh, okay. I mean, I see what you're doing here, though. You're like creating, you're you're trying to flavor this, right? Search for Emrakul, so you search your library for a land, right, and put it on the battlefield. Yeah, I get it. Again, I don't know if it's a good idea to do this type of a thing. It is novel, you know, uh, in a way. So this I'm really like torn on this card. You keep hearing me go back and forth on it, but I think probably I would find a different way to do this effect if you really wanted it. Or heck, make it green. Why not make it green? Make it green and either make it cost like 2 maybe if you really want to push it, or make it cost 3 and like have some other nice upside where it would be like, okay, so you search your library for a land, put it on the battlefield, it becomes a waste, and then you scry 2 or whatever, something like that. Anyway, yeah, so search for Emrakul. There's some interesting ideas here, and like, it wouldn't be the end of the world if they printed a card like this. I mean, at 1 mana, it would be the end of the world. But if this cost like 3, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But it would definitely be weird. That's for sure. So I would tend to stay away from trying to break color boundaries like this and try to do this in a more blue way. So yeah, that's my review for Search for Emrakul. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Your cards are all pretty interesting, but I think you are doing some, you have to ask yourself, I can do this, but should I do it? You're kind of in that realm right now. So, but like I said, I'd love to see more of your space themed cards. I mean, I'm kind of interested on the story. I mean, let me know if is this a set. I'm interested. Show me some more what you got. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.